Rose, I'm David Jacoby. We are Jalen Jacoby. What is it that we do?
They want.
Joining us later in the program, Utah Jazz bucket getter superstar Jordan Clarkson is joining us in just minutes, but we start with some big news from the NBA. Owner of the Phoenix Suns, Robert Sarver, after an investigation from the league, has determined that when recounting the statements of others, he used the N-word, and he was inequitable in his treatment towards female employees and demeaned his employees, and the punishment is a 1-year suspension and a $10 million fine. Now, Mr. Rose, I'm not going to do the thing where I ask you, is this enough? Because the obvious answer to that is no. I'm going to ask you what you think should have happened, and what is your reaction to this story?
I think as the information about this story continues to come out, and now that he's been punished, Donald Sterling is somewhere saying he got a light punishment. And one thing that they both have in common, coincidentally, Chris Paul was on the team as the allegations became public. For those of us that have been in and around the league, I've been around the league 30 years, I've been covering it 20, and you know I played for the Suns. And off wax, you and I have talked about him and have talked about a lot of his behavior as what I call one of the worst owners in the league, regardless of their team's record. And a lot of times when people parachute in and start hearing the story, and now all of a sudden see him punished, you can now look in the rearview mirror and be like, the people that was saying stuff about him were actually right. And I'm one of those people. And here's the deal, Jacoby. He's an equal opportunity person as it relates to alienating others. Just think about when you really look at the report. Disrespect to people of color, disrespect to women, not being equitable in the workplace. Like, the sky's the limit when you really read what he got punished for, and then you look at $10 million fine. Like, I know that that's the maximum they can give him. Okay, 1-year suspension, you know what that acknowledges? That he did something extremely wrong. And you know what it also means? For a guy that not only owns the Phoenix Suns, he also owns the WNBA team, the Phoenix Mercury. So let me get this right. The way he talked and treated women in his workplace as the boss can now resume overseeing those duties plus overseeing both of those teams after 1 year. Something more has got to possibly be done, because while the punishment may end, how he's made people feel is not going to end. And a lot of those people are still living, breathing human beings that saw him just get a slap on the wrist.
I'm glad you brought up Donald Sterling, because it feels that way, because behind the scenes, off wax, people are having these conversations and they know the character of this man. With Donald Sterling, it came to light via an audio tape. And with this case, people have been talking about his behaviors for a decade, but there's just no tape. So he gets 1 year and $10 million, but he should definitely get more. He should no longer own an NBA team. But we move on from that story to something that's happening overseas. Right now, as we record, Luka Doncic is on the court for Eurobasket. But let's just talk about what he has done in the last 3 games. In the last 3 games, this man has averaged 39.3 points and around 7 and 5 in addition to that. Jalen, we always talk about him coming into camp in shape or out of shape, but he's getting buckets right now as we speak. What does that tell you about his season next season?
And a guy that came in has been extremely dominant as a young player. Not only scoring the ball, flirting with triple doubles, getting assists, getting his own shot off the dribble, one of the best shot creators in the league at not only taking his shot, but making his shot, and also getting to his spots, in particular at the top of the floor, finding other people for his dimes. Luka Doncic, like I told you, when he decided that he wanted to get in the best shape of his career, he's going to be MVP of the league. That's what I see right now. That's exactly what I see right now.
MVP of the league.
Yes. Oh, and we got odds. How about this, Jacoby? Who made the Western Conference Finals this year?
The Western Conference Finals were the Warriors and the Mavericks.
Boom. Ahead of schedule. Mavs ahead of schedule. And if you get confused to why, and shout to Jalen Brunson, he was terrific in the playoffs. I love him adding Christian Woods as a big this offseason from the Rockets. They did it because of that guy right there. He's a him. And the list of guys that he's up there with also fall into that category. But here's the one thing I'll only point out. It's great to see him playing 12 months of basketball, so to speak. It's different when you're in the gym training. It's different when you playing rec because you're kind of still cruising. And international players, of course, I love the way they represent their home countries. But I just hope that we're not looking up in May and he's fatigued from all of this basketball. That's the only thing I'm going to say. He's averaging 40 right now. That's big numbers. I just hope he's able to sustain it and stay healthy. If he does, he will be MVP this year, and the Mavs will continue to ascend.
So I think that fatigue is a potential threat, but I think a bigger threat to his MVP path is the players around him. Because to be an MVP, it's hard to win that MVP if you're a 6 seed or a 5 seed, right? I mean, you look at this roster, they're one of the few teams in the league that you know, kind of a head-scratching offseason. We'll see how Christian Wood fits in, but we will see how this Mavs team shapes up. But Jalen, I've got big news that pertains to your favorite football team. For the first time since November of 2020, think about how long ago that is. November of 2020, 24 games. The Lions have been underdogs until this week when they are favorites to beat the Washington Commanders on Sunday. As a lifelong Lions fan, how does this feel to finally be favored?
November 2020, that means it probably was around Thanksgiving. Like I told you, that's our Super Bowl, literally. And you see I rep to the fullest over my shoulder. It doesn't feel like anything. I just got to tell everybody a secret. As a lifelong Lions fan, I'm glad that the world is trying to adopt us as lovable losers. But these ain't your parents' Lions. These are not your parents' Lions. And they're going to go out as favorites on this Sunday. We're going to beat the Commanders, and then that's going to start a win streak. Let's go, Detroit Lions. My guy under center, Jared Montana. You see that run game last week? Running
Swift.
all over those guys.
Swift and
17
Williams.
points in the fourth quarter. We hitting our stride.
Love it. I love what the Lions are doing. And I'm glad you used the term lovable losers because that's what you guys are now, especially after Hard Knocks, because before you were just losers. You know what I mean? Now you're lovable losers that people want to adopt. Before you guys were just losers. But congratulations to Detroit for being favored. They're only favored by 2 points, which means I'm going to bet on them to cover. We have another story. We discussed yesterday the 4th and 5 decision that Nathaniel Hackett made. Well, guess what? He spoke about it. Here's what he had to say.
You know, looking back at it, we definitely should have gone for it. Just not, you know, one of those things you look back at it and you say, of course we should go for it. We missed the field goal. But in that situation, we had a plan. I mean, we had a plan. We knew that 46 was the mark. And we got there and it didn't work. It sucks, but hey, that's part of it.
So, Jalen, here's my problem with the way this whole thing has been covered since Monday night. I watched every snap of this game. And everyone's talking about this decision, this 4th down call. Didn't call timeout, let the clock run. They had McManus go out there, and he kicked a 64-yarder. Would have been the second. Everyone's focused on this one down. But from the first quarter to the second quarter, the third quarter to the fourth quarter, this was a mismanaged offense. They weren't getting to the line in time. They weren't snapping the ball in time. They had 3 delay of games. But not just to that, they snapped the ball with 1 or 0 seconds left on the clock time and time again. So everyone's focused on this one decision. But if you ask me, this was about an entire game mismanagement, not a single down mismanagement.
How about I agree with you. It was about a game mismanagement, not about a down mismanagement. But how about you got a franchise quarterback that you just brought to your team and you just paid him top dollar? That's why you got him. That's the whole purpose of this exercise. And let me just say the second part of this. You're second guessing the 4th down call, but you're also making excuses for it. So he said, we looking back at it, we should have gone for it, but then he tried to act like they executed the plan to a T. Like, oh, we was trying to get the 46. hey, dog, that's not a good idea.
Yeah.
46 is not your mark if you're going to try to win the game.
46 plus 17 is 63. I can do the math.
You know
and 63 is a missed field goal. Like, the 46 can't be the mark. And one thing I found so interesting about this particular down and decision is I was shocked. Just like everybody at home, I'm sitting there saying timeout, timeout, timeout. And then when they let the clock run down, they call timeout. Russell Wilson, they covered it, looks to the sideline, looks at Hackett and gives him a nod like, yeah, we're good. So, like, Russell Wilson was also complicit in this plan. To me, again, I'm no offensive mastermind. I've never head coached in the NFL. Call timeout, huddle up, and talk about it. See if you have a play that you're confident in. Really ask yourself if a 64-yard field goal is the right thing to do in this moment. I just think that there are so many things that were wrong about this, but I love that you pointed out in his apology, he couched it by being like, oh, that was the plan, and we stuck to the plan. Getting to the 46 cannot be the plan, dog. That cannot be the plan. Oh. You know what? I still believe in this Broncos team, though. I think that this was a function of Wilson not playing in the preseason, his first game as head coach. I believe in this Broncos team, and I think that they will be formidable. Jalen Rose, quick question for you. Who's joining us in just seconds on the program?
Joining us right now is an absolute bucket. A bucket! Jordan Clarkson, thank you so much for joining us in the program.
What's up, y'all? How y'all doing?
What up, family? Thank you for taking the time. We appreciate the love.
Now,
Yes,
we're going to
sir,
talk
always.
about how you are a bucket. We're going to talk about basketball. We're going to talk about your team. But first of all, I want to talk to you about turning into a fashion icon. You're in New York for Fashion Week. Like, when did you really start focusing on what you wear?
I mean, every morning you got to put clothes on. For me, I don't really, it's not a focus for me. It's just all organic. I wake up, grab what I want, and, kind of just go with the flow. So, I think the way I dress, everything that I wear, is just going with the flow. It's nothing forced.
See, you're a young man and I'm an old man, so I don't really care what clothes look like anymore. I care what they feel like. And I've noticed that you got a partnership with Lululemon. I'm Lulu Gang all
That's
day
dope.
because
Lulu
it
Gang.
feels so good. How did that happen?
Just everything's organic, man. I don't do stuff that I don't believe in, and I don't think that's cool. So, all the whole relationship, everything that's been built there, with the clothes, the next level, what they trying to do with the company, everything, just the looks, everything that's been put together, I really believe in it, and, I think it's the next step in, fashion, whatever it is, clothes, period. I think it's all there.
I want to ask a basketball question. You most recently played and represented the Philippines in the World Cup qualifiers. What was that experience like?
It's been something that we've been working on for a while, getting with the national team and really pushing that forward. So I think it's been like 40, 50 years since Philippines been in the Olympics. So World Cup is next year, I believe, in like August. Try to get that qualification, hopefully play in the Olympics, bring the country some joy, hope. That's all they give is love, strength to me. They always supporting us. It's just all love for the game, and it's very inspiring when you go over there and see all that.
You're also outside. Now, I'm here in New York. I know about the big water balloon fight. I watch Side Talk just like everybody else. How did you find out about it? Did people recognize you, and what was the experience like in that big water balloon fight in Central Park?
I'm jealous.
Hey, that was so fun, man. My boys, they over there at Side Talk. Much respect to them. It was just super fun. Something that, something happened organically. I'm like, my boys, we woke up and it was like, yo, let's hit the water park. Let's hit the water fight today. I'm like, where at? I was like, oh yeah, Trent and them throwing it at blah, blah, blah. We got the address pulled up. Everything was fun. Cracked a few brews open. Everybody was out there chilling. The sun was out. It was a good day in New York. So it was just all free flowing, and we had some fun. I'm glad they ain't get no clips of me like actually hit people with water balloons in the face.
Because then somebody would have happened to you. Somebody would have been like, oh, that's him. They'd have tried to, he hit me in the face. Look, I got a mark right here.
Exactly.
So I have to ask about a couple of NBA things. So you're a terrific performer. You've done everything the Utah Jazz asked you to do, whether starting or coming off the bench. Your game has grown so much. I love the way your handle, your ability to finish at the rim. Like, I've looked at you guys' team as one that had a legit chance the last few years to actually win the West. And now all of a sudden, you look up this offseason, you trade Rudy Gobert, you trade Donovan Mitchell. As the next best player on that team, what was that like for you seeing those changes happen?
I mean, that's tough, man. See Donovan like every other day. I talk to him still every other day. I still talk to Rudy every other day. Like you said, man, we was invested in that. You know how it is, man, when you pursuing a championship, trying to win games, and you know, those relationships never break. But it definitely something that, you know, like hurt a little bit, just kind of seeing what was going on. Maybe it was a give up on either side. We really don't know. But I think for me, whatever the next step is, I'm here in the moment. I'm ready to take whatever comes next for me and take it to the next level.
What do you think, as somebody that just said that you talk to them every other day, about people feeling like those two guys, Donovan and Rudy, couldn't get along, which is why they needed to break up y'all squad?
I mean, in some instances, everybody got problems. You know what I mean? It's a locker room, especially with two young stars. It does suck sometimes when you know, you hear people put out, you know, publications of what's going on in the locker room and stuff like that. But it's none of that never got to the point where it affected anything on the court. I think with the relationship, those guys were very vocal with each other, and I think that's why a lot of things came out maybe the wrong way.
It's interesting to hear you say that, because just recently Danny Ainge said that while the team liked each other, they didn't, quote unquote, believe in each other. What's your reaction to that as someone who's on the team?
I think we all believed in each other. We believed in everything that we could do. But like you said, you come in the locker room, owner, manager, whatever it is, and you see us, you know, bickering, you know, relationships fading. You know how it is, man. We around each other damn near the whole year.
Exactly.
Like, I ain't missed a summer without like Don in like 2-3 years. I ain't missed a summer with Rudy in 2-3 years. Like, what you think is gonna happen? A marriage ain't perfect. Like, we gonna go in there, everybody gonna say what they gotta say. We all are star in our own movies. So I think when somebody makes a statement like that, it's nothing to go against Danny Ainge or anything, but maybe the relationship it made it look that way, but I think we was all strong, and you know, we was all trying to get the same goal. But at the end of the day, the powers ain't working our hands, and you know, we all got to figure it out from now.
Well, you're a rock star, my brother. Thank you for taking the time, and we looking forward to having you on again. All love.
Appreciate y'all, man. All love. I'll be back. You already know. I see Jay.